It does?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it'll be up above 35 again, probably. The 40-year-old oil export ban expected to be repealed today. Joining us now is one of the congressional members that's been pushing for the ban to be lifted. Senator Heidi Heitkamp from North Dakota joins us. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning.
I thought that was enough for Republicans to, to get this through with help from Democrats. Right now, what are the chances that this goes through as planned? I see that you saw all the carping on the right about Congress or Speaker Ryan and the like. Do you think that it's initially I thought it was going to fly through? What do you think now? Is it going to happen?
Well, I think it's going to happen, and I think it's interesting because the budget limits were set in the budget, which was passed with bipartisan support, a little bit over a month ago. And so when everybody says, well, look at all this spending, you want to say that decision was made. And that's why Speaker Ryan continues to say, this is a hand I was dealt. We're doing the best we can with it. I think that there's got to be some level of, kind of honeymoon period for him. I think this will get done today. If it doesn't, we'll be here past Christmas.
And this is something, how long you've been trying to get this done, and why was it such a priority for you? Well,
obviously, North Dakota is the #2 biggest producer of crude oil in the country. We're also, we don't have a mature infrastructure, and so we get a lot of transportation deducts. We produce the best crude oil in the world, but yet we weren't getting our price for it. And my evaluation of that was, look, we're not getting our price because we don't have a market. We can't find our market. And so even before we saw this very deep price decline, this always concerns me because I believe in free trade. I believe commodities should find their market. And so we started working on this, part on your program a long time ago. And I was one of the few people here in town that thought we could get it done this year. We got it done because it's the right policy for America.
What could it mean for, I mean, it's a bittersweet victory at $34. It would have been nice to be exporting some at 100 or 90, right,
yeah.
from North Dakota?
Well, one of the problems that we have in this town, and I think overall, is we're really a short-term thinking nation. And for me, this was never about what this meant for the short-term oil market. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. It's about what we're going to do to produce this commodity and basically allow for export of this commodity long-term. And I think one thing that it's going to do is it's going to keep development of this resource in this country on the books in many boardrooms across the country.
Senator, is it impossible that this causes more exports to our country? I don't know what the rationale for thinking was, but I've seen people warn that this could mean that the United States imports more oil if we export some of our domestic reserves. Is there any reason to think that?
No. I mean, I think that when we look, just look at the rest of the commodity markets, and you've heard me say this, a lot of people like low corn prices who, run feedlots. Doesn't mean we stop exporting corn. The same is true here, and we believe that this will equalize the market, that what this will do is have no effect, if not a downward effect, on gasoline prices. And so the effects, the negative economic effects of exports have been greatly exaggerated because they've been a beard for people not wanting to do anything for the oil industry. And so we move forward, and I think that this is good for national security, it's good for energy security, it's good for our allies, and at the end of the day, it's the right thing because we are a country that believes in free trade.
Right. I mean, it does mean a lot of hydrocarbons coming out of the ground, and I know you've seen, the president got back from Paris and with a lot of hoopla about the climate deal, and less hoopla maybe about ISIS. As a Democrat, do you stand behind Secretary Kerry and President Obama saying that that's a much bigger problem than global warming is a much bigger problem because of hydrocarbons than terrorism?
Well, one of the things is you can't just say Democrats because there's a whole lot of thinking in that spectrum.
Nicely. I didn't say like a Democrat Congress. I mean, I didn't use it the way it's used a lot of times, the way it can be used.
I think that today the most immediate threat we have is ISIS and the destabilization, certainly in the Mideast, and everybody's ignoring Western Africa,
right.
or Eastern Africa, which I think we should be deeply concerned about too.
Right.
And so, but let's face it. We know that based on everything that we saw, there's going to be a challenge in terms of industries, the fossil fuel industry, in meeting carbon challenges. And, you know, this isn't just my only issue. I've been working very closely with the coal industry on making sure that we have carbon capture and sequestration. We know we can do it in the world. We do it in North Dakota.
Okay.
I think there's ways that we can continue to use these resources and meet the concerns that people have about climate.
Okay, I can't help myself. Did you see the second season of Fargo? Because I mean, you could be a consultant, you know, with do you say "you betcha"? Have you used the?
Oh, yeah. You went, what? Oh, you know, this is your Christmas present.
That's
Joe.
amazing. I mean, that is
Yeah.
amazing. Did you see this? Did you watch that? It's so violent, but it was great.
Yeah, of course. You know, number one, and I've told you this before, Fargo was not about Fargo. It was about Brainerd, Minnesota.
And Laverne, Minnesota, but they go back and forth between the two borders.
Bears.
They do go back and forth. Part of it is Phil. Great scenes, though. Great scenes. It
was.
looks like a barren Arctic
Oh,
wasteland.
no, it's beautiful.
Oh, I know.
Stunningly
You have to have an eye
beautiful.
for it, Senator. You have to have an eye for it. Thank you once again.
Take care.
All right, you betcha.
Okay.